So audience, feeper here back with another video for you. With the first major title update of Monster Hunter Rise just on the horizon, I wanted to make a quick video sharing the top 4 things that I would like to see in the title update. Some of these things I think are more realistic than others, but regardless, I wanted to share my thoughts with you all and see what you think. Who knows, maybe all my wants will be fulfilled. With that being said, let's jump into the video. Quick note before I get into number 1. This video will contain spoilers for the majority of Rise. I try to be as vague as possible in the video, but there are some things that I can't really talk about without you having completed the game. So if you haven't completed the game yet, I would shy away from this video and then come back to it after you've beaten the game. Now these aren't in any particular order, I just wrote them down as they came to me. Alright, so number 1. I would like to see the Apex monsters get their own weapons akin to the Deviant weapons from Monster Hunter Generations. For those of you who didn't play Monster Hunter Generations or Generations Ultimate, there were a set of monsters in that game that were called the Deviant monsters. These were sort of souped up versions of existing monsters that kind of pushed the fantasy aspect of the game in a unique way. To give an example, Apex Raytheon is essentially her Deviant counterpart known as Dread Queen Raytheon from Generations. They both have enhanced poison, they leave spikes of poison on the ground, and Apex Raytheon even has the extra moves that they gave to Dread Queen. Each of these deviants had a unique armor set, and while I don't think those will ever come to the game, not that I'd be complaining, they also had a weapon which made it really rewarding to hunt them over and over again. So I was quite shocked when the case wasn't the same in Rise. It was surprising when I found out that the Apex monsters only gave you materials to upgrade your Rampage weapon, and not the other way around. I thought it would at least be used to upgrade the weapon of that monster. So, you know, you've maxed out the Raytheon Greatsword, and then you fight Dread Queen, then you get one more tier of it with Dread Queen parts. Or excuse me, with, you're going to see I'm already calling her a deviant name, with Apex parts. Some of these weapons had really unique designs and added a lot of game time to Generations. And since Rise has taken a lot of things from Generations, with the Silkbind moves being new versions and a new take on the Hunter arts, I think adding these weapons back would be a great fit and would be a win-win overall. Number 2. Continuing with weapons, I'd like to see an update to the weapon trees. Now this is almost 100% going to happen, but what I specifically mean is weapons that stop at Rarity 3, Rarity 4, I would like to see them go to at least 5, ideally 6. For example, I quite like the Great Izuchi Sword and Shield. I think it looks nice, but it stops at Rarity 4, I believe. Honestly, it might be 3, and it feels kind of bad to use a weapon that, while you aesthetically like it a lot, in terms of stats is just much harder and much more difficult to make work. Personally, I just use whatever I think is cool. I'm not, chasing the meta at every beck and call, but I know for other players who are a bit more optimization focused, it can be a real drag when their favorite monster gives them a weapon and then it turns out that it just isn't very good overall and they never use it. At first, I didn't have much of an issue with this, but thinking more about it now, there are some weapons that just sort of weirdly seem to stop earlier than they should. Like the Mizutsune Hunting Horn seems like it should have one more level of upgrade to it, but it kind of just stops. There will always be winners for certain weapons, but it'd be nice if the Kezu Gun Lance, as horrific as it is, wasn't stuck at level 3 shelling for the entire game. Number 3. This is another one that I'm positive will at least be partially addressed in the next update. Everyone knows that a fair amount of the decorations are missing from the game as is. Things like Handicraft, Weakness Exploit, Sleep Attack, Agitator, and more. I'd like to see all the decorations come back in this patch so we can really start kind of fleshing out our builds more. However, I don't think we're going to get every deco in this update. I think that will come with the update that sort of concludes the story with Rise, which will be the one in May, I believe, if I remember correctly from the roadmap. It is also possible that certain skills won't actually be decos in this game and they'll be locked to charms, which would kind of suck depending on the skill and how much you like it, but hopefully by either this update or the following one we'll have every single skill as a deco in the game and we can really start getting much more freedom in what we decide to build. Number 4. I think it would be absolutely amazing if we could fight the Apex monsters outside of just the Rampage, and to a lesser extent Ibushi as well. While I do like the Rampage mechanic, it would be nice to fight them as a normal quote-unquote hunt. I think a perfect place to do this would be the arena where we fight the final boss. There's some equipment there that we can use as well to make the fight sort of feel larger in scale than normal, and it would just be really refreshing to be able to fight them as we would any other monster. This would tie in super well with what I mentioned earlier about the Apex monsters having their own weapons. I think this one is quite likely, but something in the back of my mind keeps telling me that it will never happen. Maybe that's just the cynic in me, but we'll have to wait and see. And that's going to be it for this video. I know this one's a bit shorter, but I just kind of wanted to spitball these out to you all and see what you think. Let me know what things you would all like to see in this title update and any future ones. I'm really looking forward to fighting my boy Chameleos in a modern engine and having him steal all of my mega armor skins and demon drugs, and to see what else they bring into the game with Apex Rathalos and whatever the related features means. With that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe as it would really help me out, and I also stream over at twitch.tv/feeper and quite frequently do viewer hunts, so if you need any help or just want to play with different people, that's the place to be. Happy hunting, and I will see you all in the next one.